It's lovely to have you, Brian, on the show. Thank you very much for your time. Are you surprised by the resilience of the U.S. consumer?
No, I think, again, with the U.S. consumer, you've got two factors. One is that there's a certain percentage of U.S. consumers that continue to do very well and continue to spend. And then I think secondarily, particularly on the retail side, although the CPI, when you look at the U.S., is still running a little hot, most of that is in non-goods categories, notably shelter. Today, the price of most things in the U.S. is basically level, or is basically level. So the shopper's getting an opportunity to take some of the wage increases that they've gotten over the last couple of years and spend. So not in general. We have seen a course head research where I spend some of my time that some of that confidence has begun to wane a little bit, particularly amongst younger shoppers that are more urban, because their cost pressures tend to be non-goods based, notably shelter, eating out, entertainment. The cost of those things seems to continue to be going up. And if you look at the CPI in the U.S. today, most of those cost increases are in non-product categories.
Oh, absolutely. And we are seeing that breakdown actually on a lovely wall that we just flagged for our viewers, with shelter inflation going up by 5.2%, being fairly stubborn, food inflation high by about 2.2%, and overall also the number adds up to 3%. Brian, what about luxury goods? What about the higher-end consumer?
Well, the higher-end consumer continues to remain strong. The higher-end consumer is the one that's probably least impacted by inflation, and the one that's had to change less of their behavior. The other thing that you've seen with the higher-end consumer is because interest rates remain high, the thing that impacts again is shelter and moving. And if a higher-end consumer isn't selling their home and relocating, it does allow them to reroute spending into out of, say, needs, like if I don't need to remodel my kitchen because I'm trying to sell my house, I can reroute that spend into wants or to luxury goods. So right now, the luxury market appears to be maintaining strength in the U.S. as that consumer remains strong. And luxury is increasingly, particularly with Amazon's minority interest now in Neiman Marcus and Saks, something that's of interest to Amazon as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at a report by FTI Consulting, which I believe you must have also read, is projecting that U.S. online retail sales, which obviously a large part of it is driven by the likes of Amazon, will reach $1.2 trillion in this year, an increase of nearly 10% from last year.
Yeah, I think that's probably a little higher than some of the estimates I've seen, and a little both on the growth rate side. Generally speaking, e-commerce, if you strip COVID out, for most of the 21st century, e-commerce has gained about a share point a year of share in the United States. It'll probably continue to do that. If retail is growing, basically given the size it's at, if retail is growing at basically 4 to 5 over the year and e-commerce is growing at 10, that's about where that share growth rate comes in. So yeah, I think that those numbers feel in the right ballpark. Yes, the American shopper continues to migrate categories to e-commerce, and though Prime Day is historically and notoriously a sale platform for discretionary items and electronics, a lot of that migration that you're seeing in e-commerce is in consumables and food today, and that actually isn't Amazon. That's being powered by retailers like Walmart that are beginning to really ramp up their share in consumables on the e-commerce side.